worthy of an F. I always say, if you're not giving me an A, give me an F. You giving me the worst grade in the world, worse than an F, is a D. Because with the D, even though we love the D over here, you know which D I'm talking about. But with the D, oh, my coffee looks so good.
It does. Compared
That
to
don't even look like coffee. That's not even coffee.
The way the whipped cream is running down the side of the coffee,
That is over.
the white stuff is run down the side of my face from time to time.
That looks really good. Your coffee looks good.
That's my coffee.
It does look good.
If I drank coffee, I would drink that.
That looks like coffee.
Y'all hire clowns as if you were running a circus. So you get a circus and you hire clowns. Anyway, moving on.
Take it from the people who play cards for him. He be cheating.
I only cheat on Uno. Only Uno. Only Uno.
Uno, Tuno, Luno, he is a cheater.
Everything.
If you cheat,
See, they say you probably look. He said you probably do
cheat.
cheat. He do.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
I'm out of here. Bye.
OnlyFans so that you can look at the longer videos. And you can go in the comfort of your own little room at the boarding house, rent it home, grab your little Albaline and smoke it out for as long as you want it. Play it over and over and over. The long videos of Malik's long peen. Because you have an infatuation with his long peen. I am certain that at this point, you want him to shove his long peen somewhere inside of your body. I'm just saying. The devil, and the devil will fuck up here. Here he go.
Y'all wasn't gonna make me the oldest one on here.
You did not send me a text, a link.
I did.
I do have to say, Ty, you were in the group chat on Instagram, whatever Instagram that was.
Wait, what? Kenny? Love you down. I don't got no problem with Kenny. I like Kenny. But Kenny girl. Kenny girl. Kenny girl, we did not think he was nobody's straight. Neither did we think he was nobody's top. At best, verse. If I stretch, maybe if I stretch, I might give you verse top. I'll stretch and give you verse top. But you do know that we had already deduced that you like to have spoons dipped into your sugar bowl, right? We had already. I mean, I don't think there's anybody, even DeAndre, who professes that he's the top, and Archie, who professes that he's the top. They profess to be straight tops. You ain't gonna get me to believe that they had a spoon dipped into their sugar bowl every now and then. The least about JG.
Yeah, no, that's a tough one. Well, definitely what I like the most about David is
y'all girls need to understand. Girl, you had a bust down. Girl, y'all had a one-night stand. Y'all got drunk one day. Y'all had a one-night stand. It was good that night because you was drunk. Probably if you was sober, you gonna be like, girl, this wasn't even that good. But girl, you was drunk like fuck or coked out or a combination of the two of them. Whatever the fuck y'all do down there to the LA. Y'all had a good bust down. It was what it was. You should have kept it moving. Hey! Hey, people! Hey! Oh my God, people. I feel like, do I still know how to do this thing called Silly Saturday? It's been so long. Listen, I missed y'all. Y'all know Silly Saturday is how the bread gets buttered around here. The lights get kept on with Silly Saturday, so surprised we still got lights in this hole. But we're here nonetheless. It is Silly Saturday. It is Saturday, and thus it is time to get silly. What up? Shondo's in the chat. Shondo to you and you all of you out there in the chat, to my mods, all of you out there in the bushes, my bush people. Hey, y'all. Let me say hey to y'all and stuff like that. Let me see if I can highlight a few comments. Hold on. See if I can highlight a few comments. Hey, MVN, boo. I ain't started early today. I'm a little later today. So you here today. I'm glad you're here, boo. I'm glad you like the new thumbnail. I took it up real quick. Like, hey, little baby boo. Hey, Cams. Hey, so Jeff. Hey, everybody, as you all come into the room. Um, so I am. I will say at the tail end. Hey, LaDonna. Hey, boo. Shondo's around the room in and about the chat. At the tail end of this live, we will discuss only the first three episodes of Dahmer because you all are derelict of duties and did not go and binge watch it like I did. So I'll keep it to the first three episodes. Lord. But I'm going to drop the link. So if anybody wants to come up and discuss it with me, you can. Hey, China White, my love, my doll, how art thou? So there is the link. Mods, if you all could keep the link tight. So if I need y'all to repost the link, mods, can you all do that for me? Thank you so much, so very much. But yeah, we're here on a Saturday. Silly Saturday, we're silly. So yeah. So yeah, there's my boy, so Jeff. There is LaDonna. So Jeff is our resident Haitian sensation. There's China White. Hey everyone, as you all flock into the room, we're here. It's a Saturday. Y'all know it's about tomfoolery, debauchery, you name it. We're here. I got a couple palate cleansers. I don't have a whole lot of palate cleansers, but I got a few. Got a couple. Just a few. I'll probably put up like one in between each topic instead of two like I normally do, because I don't have as many as I normally have. Y'all see I was running late. I had to go to the eye doctor, get a new eye, do an eye appointment and so forth. So I literally had to wait a little while because it was early this morning, but I wanted to wait some time before this glaring ass you know, ring light was turned on in my face, and I burned my and scorched my damn retinas with them having dilated my eyes or whatever. But I'm fine now. And order some new glasses, so they are coming sometime next week or whatever. So we're gonna do what to do. Did everybody see the new thumbnail? It was a new thumbnail today. Excuse me, y'all. I had a belch out there. Anyway, did everybody see the new thumbnail? Shondo Jason, what's good, bruh? Everybody got it. I did a new thumbnail, trying to spruce up the place. Every now and again, I am gonna do a new overlay. Even though I love this overlay, I don't know. Should I do? Well, first, did you like the new thumbnail? If you like the new thumbnail, let me know. 27 in the chat if you like the new thumbnail. Because I did, I've had that well, old school Silly Saturday people know the old blue one, the old school blue thumbnail when we first started. Then I had the one that before that, this one, which was like beige with some reds and yellows in it or something like that. And so now we have this new one, back to like blue beach and stuff like that. So yeah, glad you like. I don't know. I kind of want to do the overlay over. Like this overlay is cute. I did, I had a good time making this overlay, but I wonder if it's time to do a new overlay. Y'all let me know. You know. Um, we got a few stories, and then, like I said, at the end, we'll talk about Dahmer episodes 1, 2, and 3. Oh, it was a lot. It was a whole lot, y'all. It was a lot. Lord. Anyway, so where do we go first? Where to go first? Um, we'll start off light, and then we'll get heavier as the day progresses. I'm ready for the foolishness from these. So what foolish? I really don't have a lot of foolishness for y'all this week. I don't know why. I, I'm gonna tell you why. I spend the morning. I wake up early on a Saturday, and I'll spend a few hours. Like I'll wake up at 6 or 6:30 ish, and then I'll spend like 3 hours or so, trying to get stories together, making sure I'm up on what I need to do, getting all of the, sprucing up the place, making sure everything is where it needs to be. We come on, we do our live, but this morning that was all thrown topsy turvy because I was out, and even once I was out, I couldn't do a whole lot because my eyes was doing funny things because they were dilated and stuff, and I couldn't really see like I wanted to see. So listen, we're gonna do the best we can. Okay. God. But if y'all got something y'all want me to talk about, y'all can always bring it up and um we'll go from there. So let's start with this story. Y'all know my problem. You know what my real problem is? Hey, Mr. Pisces. Hey, Boo. Shondo, Boo. Glad you came out the bushes. I know you told me you be in the bushes a lot. So glad you came out the bushes to say hi. Hope you and the mister are doing good. I'm all right. I am all right. Glad to see you up in the building. There's always pressure on the silly Saturday agenda. What do you mean, cams? Even on my off days like today, I still bring it. When you ever knew me not to bring it? What are we talking about? Child. Oh, you calling my moderators flunky? I wouldn't do that. My moderators are sharpshooters. They don't play around. I would venture to say one of my moderators are going to get you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And my moderators will handle that. Told you. I told you. I, I don't, I mean, hell, when I'm a moderator, I'm a sniper and a sharpshooter. So you think my mods are not going to be in here? You know what I'm saying? How dare you try to mod? The mods walk heavy up in here. The mods don't play around. They carry big sticks up in here. We carry big sticks. Tell them mods. Come on. Hashtag mod squad. Shout out to all the mods in the building today. And I got all my men here today. You got all the men in here today for mods. You got Cams. You got Jason. You got Jeff. And you got little baby. She's not a man. But she still carries a big stick and she still will handle you. Just know. But, yeah, I am petty as a mod. I'm real petty. And I want my mods to be petty. That's why they're here. They know me. They know how I am. They know my heart. My mods know me. Anyway. So Jeff, you didn't even have to time him out. You could have just went on ahead and blocked him. I don't question it, y'all. When y'all block somebody, baby, they block. There's nothing I could do for them. Baby. Anyway, but to answer your question, I'm not doing this with you, Mr. Pisces. Even though DeSantis did make the dossier today. In today's dossier, we will be discussing Governor Death Sentence along with Governor Hot Wheels. Anyway. Yeah, little baby don't play. Little baby will gut you like a fish. But in the dossier today, we have a couple days. Here's our first story. In the great state of Pennsylvania, somebody told me in a comment one time, they said, every time you say in the great state of, we know it's going downhill. And they say this, whenever you say in the great state of so and so, we know it's going downhill. I want SpongeBob to find his way in the back. Listen, I'm gonna get there. That's actually my next story. Little baby, so hold tight. We'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about Ian in a second. That was gonna be my next story. All right. Get out my head, little baby. Get out my head. It was already in the dossier for today. So Ian was already in today's dossier. All right, so in the great state of Pennsylvania, a restaurant is suing a customer who tipped $3,000, then disputed the charges weeks later. I got this from the Shade Room, y'all. So this comes from the Shade Room. In June, Eric Smith ordered a stromboli from Alfredo's Pizza in Scranton, New York. Shout out to The Office, one of the greatest television shows of all time. Shout out to The Office. Anyway, though his bill was only $13, Eric tipped his server $3,000. At the time, his server, Mariana Lambert, and the restaurant praised his generosity. But weeks later, Alfredo's received an alert about the disputed charge. Now the restaurant is suing Eric Smith for their coins. According to a local outlet, WNEP, managers at Alfredo's doubted the tip from the jump. However, they thanked Eric after the credit card charge went through. Per the staff, Eric said the large tip was part of a social media campaign called Tips for Jesus. In July, Mariana spoke about the thoughtful tip on social media. Um, Quote, it really meant a lot to me because everyone's going through stuff. It really touched my heart, end quote. According to the restaurant's vice president, Leslie Minakazi, she told Newsweek, quote, we received notice 45 days after he dined in our establishment. We had already paid Mari the $3,000 by a company check. So currently, we as the owners are hit with the loss. End quote. Child. The restaurant did try to contact Mr. Eric Smith, but he ghosted them. It's unclear how Mariana now feels or whether she's aware of the disputed charge. However, management at Alfredo's wasn't happy to receive the dispute and reached out to Eric for clarity. Quote, we thought somebody was actually trying to do a good thing, and then now we are what, 3 months later? And then not even, and there's nothing. There's nothing to show for it at this point. End quote. And that's according to the manager of the restaurant. Here's the thing. So they suing him. We don't have no conclusion yet. They have filed paperwork for a lawsuit. So here's what you got. Dude had a $13 bill and then charged $3,000 for a tip. Like, that just don't sound right. I might even go with it if the tip was a couple $100. Maybe this tips for Jesus or whatever. Because on a $13 bill, $3,000 for a $13 bill. Yeah, that. First of all, I wouldn't even, and no offense to the server who probably was a great server, but if I'm management, I probably would be like, sir, are you sure? And then, or what I would have did, I would have had him write on this. This is me. I know you got to sign your bill or whatever, but still, I would say, have him write something. I am giving consent to charge $3,000 on my thing, because you don't want something like that to backtrack on them. I'm going to tell you something I do now. I'm gonna tell you what I do. Now, whenever I go somewhere and they tell me to sign the bill after they charge my card, I don't put my regular full signature. I'll do my initials. And so what it is for me, if it comes back and something on that bill is wrong, and I want to go dispute, I'll go back and say, boo, I ain't signed that. Give me my money back. And how I know, because the credit card company has my full signature. And what I always do on these types of bills, I just scribble my quick initials, which is different from my signature. So if I look, anytime I need to dispute, I can go back and say, yeah, that's not my signature. I ain't signed for that. Take that off, off my credit card. I ain't playing with y'all. And so, yeah, because I'm, I agree, Kev. It is scamming. Hey, Tracy, boo. Tracy, you late. You gonna get detention for being late, Tracy. You supposed to be here on time. Here, listen. I have to give you some detention, Tracy. Rolling up in here late for class. Like, how you just gonna think that three, like you just gonna roll out there and be like, yeah, here go these 3 stacks, girl. I got it like that. You know, bitches be trying to floss and shit. He probably was there with somebody and said, yeah, y'all pay for y'all own bill because watch this tip I give her. You know what I'm saying? And gave this woman 3 stacks. Now the sliding in the back row. Hey, you can't slide up in here late. You and Tracy finna get detention. Matter of fact, well, inside view to my classroom. In my classroom, a student can roll in late because guess what? They already know your assignment. When you roll in my classroom late, you ain't got to talk to me. Go ahead and pick up that folder from by the door. Sign your name on the tardy list. Baby, go ahead and get done with my essay. Go ahead and start writing my essay, honey. I need 500 words before we leave this class, honey. That's your assignment for the day. You decide to roll in here late. Baby, go ahead and start off with my essay. Stop playing with me. Find you somebody. I don't even have no disputes about being late, girl. Go ahead. Sign the tardy sheet, baby, and go ahead and grab that folder and get your little essay topic. And go ahead with my 500-word essay. Go ahead. Stop playing with me. Stop playing. Really, me, go ahead and start on my essay, ma'am. Start on my essay. Tracy, ma'am, go start on my essay. Stop playing with me. Coming to my class late like that. Better find somebody to play with. Rolling up in here late. Nah, hey, Tracy, like, I got a hall pass. My last teacher wrote me a pass. I am not writing no essay. I have a pass. Ma'am, you don't want to write your essay? Call your mama, because she finna come pick you up. You ain't writing my essay? You ain't writing my essay? Great. Call your mama, because she finna come pick you up, because I'm not doing this with you. We ain't doing this. My mom at work, I'm at work. And you're bothering me while I'm at work. I ain't at work. Because I'm working just like your mama working, and I don't want to be disturbed on my job, just like your mama don't want to be disturbed on her job. So I gotta be disturbed. Your mom, call Mrs. Willoughby so she can come get you. Or do I need to call your dad? Do I need to call Mr. Willoughby? Because he can come get you too. Now I ain't gonna lie. Normally, I never say call your mama first. I always say call your daddy first because I want to see how cute your daddy is. Because if your daddy cute, I might take a light on you. But if he ain't cute, I'm throwing a whole book at you. So I'm gonna say call your daddy first. Call your daddy. Tell your daddy to come out here and see you. Ty, this is for you, Ty. Hey, Ty, this is for you. Well, when I was in the classroom, mainly 10th and 11th, but I've taught everything from 6 through 12. Hey, Ty, boom. Ty, I already dropped the link. So if you wanted to come up, had you been here on time, you could have already had the link. But since you didn't bring your ass here on time, you can get your ass over there, grab that folder, write your good essay too for being tardy to my class. Everybody rolling up in here late. Hey, yours truly, boo, and didn't want to talk shit. Girl, go ahead and start on my essay and stop playing with me. I dropped the link already. Anyway, so $3,000, y'all. Listen, $3,000. $3,000. The restaurant wrote the server a check from the restaurant for $3,000 because they just knew, oh, that credit card done already been went through. Oh, we're gonna get our $3,000 on the back end. Then all of a sudden he said, "Nah, we ain't doing that." And the restaurant like, $3,000 is a lot of money, baby. We're not playing with you. Now I know that server. See, if I'm the server, baby, I would have went and cashed that check real fast. Oh, y'all gonna give me this check? All right, no problem. The next morning, I would have been right at the bank. Hey, go ahead and cash this before they play around. Go ahead and matter of fact, if you smart like me, you don't even wait. Baby, as soon as you get home, you do that mobile deposit with your phone, take a picture, take that good picture. Don't even play around. That's already in the bank. Not even play with y'all. Mm-mm. Cha. But yeah, you tried to be $3,000. I bet your ass went home and thought about that shit. It was like, oh, but you could tell he really was trying to floss for somebody out. It might have been a cute lady or a cute man that he liked there, and he was like, I want to. This is for tips for Jesus. Tips for Jesus. I am tipping you $3,000 for tips for Jesus because you were great. You were awesome. I've never had a server this good. Now, what was the distinction of the $3,000? Is it for the 3 days that he was allegedly dead? Even though, if I go by the stories that they tell me, technically it was 2 days and not 3 days. But I'm just saying, if he died on Friday, wouldn't that be 2 days on Sunday? But I'm just saying. Right. You got to know how to floss. Okay. Thank you, little baby. Exactly, Kels. We ain't post dating nothing, baby. As soon as I get home, matter of fact, I'll probably do it in front of you. Oh, they said, let me go ahead and endorse this, write myself on the back. Click. Click. All right, boo. It's already in the account. You got your check bag already in the bank. I've done that to people so many times. I've had people write me checks for something. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. All right. The bank got it. All right. Here you go. You got that check bag. So just like little baby say, if you're flossing, have a limit to the flossing, okay? Just have a whole limit. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Anyway, oh, I guess it's time. Let me put my first palette cleanser up. Here's one. Start off real light with our palette cleanser. There you go, real quick. While I get my next story. $3,000 is a lot of money, though. Like that $3,000 might be more than that lady made in a whole month at that job. So you really thought you was doing something? That's a lot of money. I'm just saying. Chat. Wait, what just happened? Hold on, y'all. Y'all can look at the palette cleanser a little while longer. Something just happened with my damn computer. I really wish my computer would stop playing with me. Stupid computer. All right. And we're back. We are back. Oh boy. The troll is back. Let me go ahead. I'm just gonna sit here and wait for the mod squad to handle the troll. Just gonna sit and let the mod squad handle the troll. That oh, maybe y'all did block him. Oh no, I was late. I was far back on the chat. Okay, y'all good. All right. I thought the troll had came back in, but I had went back up in the chat. My bad. Anyway, so let me give a quick update. This is for all my people in my home state of Florida. Begin to prepare thyself. It is hurricane season. We're just getting off the height of hurricane season, which they say is around September 10th, is around about that time is the peak of the hurricane season. And so we're just off of that. So usually this time of year, we get a lot of hurricanes that start to roll off the coast of Africa, or they will formulate. Sorry about that, y'all. Internet was going wacky for a little bit. Anyway, it'll start off it'll roll off the coast of Africa, or it'll start up in the Caribbean, and then it'll, formulate in the Gulf, and it'll go up usually the west side of Florida. Most of the stuff that goes up the east side of Florida happens earlier in the hurricane season, prior to the September date 10th time, and then on the second half, they usually come up the west side or come up in the Gulf of Mexico or over by Mexico itself, and then it'll travel up. Anyway, and then it'll go up to the Panhandle area or the western part of Florida. Anyway, the whole damn near state of Florida is in the cone of death. Doom, doom, doom. So we call it the cone of death where I'm from. But when you watch out for hurricanes, they give you the cone that tells you you could be, if you're in the path of this cone, then you need to go get yourself prepared. Now, forecasters, listen, this is the time of year that meteorologists start to have wet dreams at night. Okay, they get off on this kind of stuff. They be waiting all year long for a good hurricane, a good tropical storm to come. And then if they end up staying, like if it ends up coming to your area, they literally have to like hibernate for days at a time, sometimes weeks at this news station, and they get off at that stuff. I'm sure when they go to bed, they be rubbing one out, or you know, getting one off. Because meteorologists, they live for this type of stuff. So anyway, y'all pray for, if you got people in Florida, they got some time. It's not supposed to come to the middle of next week, so you got enough time. If you're in Florida, you already know how this go. Go now, because you know these people between the day tomorrow and Monday. Well, it's a tropical storm now, so people ain't doing too much yet. Once it gets to be a hurricane and it starts to get up there to a Cat 2 or Cat 3 hurricane, then you're gonna start seeing people, lose their goddamn minds in the goddamn grocery store, buying cases and cases of water and taking up all the canned goods and everything. Go get your stuff now, okay? Get your hurricane kit now. Be prepared. They say it's probably the middle of the week, Tuesday or Wednesday. Hey, Kamisha Reviews, boom. And do it that way. Get it that way, but get prepared. Make sure you're ready. And all of that stuff. Check on your people. If everybody got somebody they know live in Florida, check on your people. Make sure they get prepared. Send them an extra $50 so they can go ahead and get the hurricane kit, because it is about to be the end of the month where people got rent due and all kinds of stuff. So prepare. That was our second story. Second story done. Time for another what? Palette cleanser. So let me get you a good palette cleanser. Let's see here. Here's our next palette cleanser right there. Oh, I like he. I got two of him. See, this is my type. That one is for me. Y'all, this one, that's not for y'all. This one right here is for me. The other ones y'all can have. This one right here is for me. Matter of fact, I got two of him. I got that one of him. And this one of him too. That's for me. Not y'all. For me. The rest of them, y'all gonna have at it. I got those for y'all. Those are for y'all to look at, ogle at, and all of that stuff. This one right here, this one is mine. Y'all can't have it. It's for me. I don't care how you feel. It's mine. All mine. Get over it. Ooh, let's see that slide again. Can I slide down your slide? I just want to slide down your slide. Is that okay? I just want to slide down your slide. Am I asking too much to slide down the slide? Cha- China White, I am sharing. I'm just not sharing mine. I gotta have something for me. Gosh, gotta have something for me. So y'all, these next two stories is these next two stories are the talk of the week. They have consumed social media. They're all these next two stories is all in one topic, but they have consumed social media over the majority of this week. And that is the Ime Udoka and Nia Long situation. So the first thing is this. Now, it's become very apparent and very clear that there's a whole lot more to this story than we know. Um, here we go. See what I got to deal with, y'all? I can't make nobody happy. Nobody happy. Here's the thing, but let me go. So apparently, there's a lot more than we know. There's a lot that happened. It wasn't just, oh, me and somebody I worked with had a consensual um affair. I wanted it, she wanted it, he wanted, it wasn't just that. It was from the things that, and I would venture to tell you, over the next day or two, it's probably gonna come out, if not by the end of the day, because you're starting to see leaks in the roof. Um, no, 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 no. Jason, it's a little more than that because there's starting to be leaks in the building. And from what people are saying, everybody who says that they got not even the full story, but they got most of the story said, oh, that's what happened. Oh, that's why. Um, it wasn't the owner's wife, it was the senior vice president's, but that wasn't, it's not just one person. Now, I don't have all of the details of what happened, but a little extra tea is here's a little extra tea. Um, that I found this morning. It turns out that a starting Boston Celtics player who was jealous and having issues with Ime Udoka is the one who snitched on him. So So the big deal isn't the cheating, is the big deal is all about all of the other stuff that he is allegedly being accused of, which hasn't been brought out yet. So listen, it's not the cheating why they're here. We're here because there's a lot of other things that hasn't come out yet that he's being accused of, and that's why they're like, yeah, we yeah, okay, I understand. Yeah, we can't get behind that. That's why I say it's a real leak in this old building, and it's slowly dripping. But when you see a leak in the roof, it's it's time for you to either get the roofer up there, and if you wait too long, you're gonna have a whole problem because it's gonna come busting through. If you start to see a leak, that means it's barely holding on at that point. And at this point, the T is barely holding on, barely holding on. Can I just say that I'm happy I know how to finally pronounce this word? All right, so here's some inside information. According to one of Nia Long's friends, this is all alleged. Ime has been having what the friend describes as issues with one of the Boston Celtics, and the friend suspects that it was the player who snitched on him. The friend also told sources, "quote Ime has been going back and forth with a player on the Celtics, and now this drops is no coincidence. If this was if this was a consensual relationship, someone had to tell the management at the Celtics. It wasn't Ime or the bitch." That's what she wrote. So who else could it have been? Um, the allegedly the player in question is someone who quote played an integral part in the Celtics' success last season and have so that's narrowing it down. Is it Marcus Smart? Is it Jason Tatum? Is it Jalen Brown? If you talk, those are three players right away. You start to think, is it Al Horford? You know what I'm saying? Like when you talk about somebody integral to the team and its success last season, you done narrowed it all the way down. Listen, at this point, it's a fucking dumpster fire. At this point, I don't know that he could even go back to the team. He can't even go back to that. I don't know how you let him go back to the team and think there's going to be any institutional control. But at this point, everybody is so curious and clamoring to know so bad what happened because everybody wants to know. Wait a minute, you fired this man for a whole, not fired him, but suspended this man for a whole year just for cheating. So there's obviously something else quite egregious that happened, and we just don't know yet. But I would suspect within the next 24 to 72 hours, it's probably going to come out. So could it possibly be more than one woman involved? Because I've heard multiple stories, including the pregnancy. There's clamorings here and there. When these things come out, people have all kinds of fairy tales, fallacies, and fabrications that they have that come up about the story. We don't know. I would venture to tell you, wait and see. Even this information that is um with the this information that we have from with information from this friend saying that it was a player that snitched. We don't know how much validity this is. I would say it's going to keep drip, drip, drip within the next 24 to 72 hours. I would venture to say you're going to have a whole, the ceiling's going to cave in and you're going to have water all over the floor. You guessing Al. Now, sources that I've been looking at are pointing in that direction. There is a connection between Al, his wife, and Nia Long. What's good, Vovo? What's good, Boo? I don't know. Just saying. Child. There were Kelly Price moments in the house. Nobody knew where that. You know what? I'm not doing this with you, Jason. Oh. So now we call it the Kelly Price moments when people go missing. Is that what you're telling me? You're calling Kelly Price moments? It went from being consensual to not, and then being the owner's wife. It's a whole mess. It's a dumpster fire. I don't know how he comes back to the team. There's no institutional control at this point, none at all. Nia Long came out with a statement yesterday. She's pretty devastated and a lot of bit embarrassed. He and Nia have a son. I don't know how old the son is, but it ain't no little son. It ain't no toddler. That little boy looks to be about what, about 8 or 9. I forgot how old. I think I knew at one point how old he is, but he ain't. He's maybe about. He looks to be maybe like 8 or 9. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. The man is fine. That be fine, fine for him. But that don't mean he should be cheating on her left, right, and sideways. But here's my other thing with this whole thing. Well, let me get to the second part of this story, okay? The son is saying thank you, little baby. So here's the other story I had connected to this. Now, this is the funny part, okay? So, United States Congressman and a member, y'all don't call him a member of the squad, but technically he is a member of the squad because he is aligned with the four ladies that y'all call the squad, and he is a progressive, a real and true progressive, and not play progressive like some of these people try to be. But member of the progressive part, the Congressional Progressive Caucus, progressive U.S. Congressman from the great state of New York, Jamal Bowman, had some things to say about this whole thing. I'm not going to drag him because Twitter is doing enough. So, Jeff, okay. So, when learning of all of this, he had some words that he wanted to share. So, yesterday, mid-morning, he wanted to express some support for Nia Long. I love Jamal Bowman. Love him down. That's my boy. Now, I should preface by saying Jamal Bowman is married, very married, okay? He wanted to express his support for Nia Long, knowing that she was going through a traumatic situation. And here is what married United States Representative Jamal Bowman had to say. Quote, sending nothing but love to Nia Long. We're not letting a man who didn't recognize the luxury her presence was dim all her beauty and glory. Matter of fact, we need a Nia Long national holiday. End quote. Let me read that again for the people in the back, just for dramatic effect. Sending nothing but love to Nia Long. We're not letting a man who didn't recognize the luxury her presence was dim all her beauty and glory. Matter of fact, we need a Nia Long national holiday. Exclamation point. End quote. Send. Baby, when he would press send. Oh God, the way these people started replying to this man's tweet. The first one I saw was one that said, shoot or shoot. Everybody was like, really, boy, you shooting your shot at this woman that you married? Good. The best meme I saw was, there was the meme, if you watch sports like I do, Patrick Ewing, when he coach of the of Georgetown, when he was doing they were in a huddle and he said, why did you take that shot? Did anybody tell you to take the shot? And it's a very famous, somebody tweeted that. It was so horrible. They were like, why did you take that shot? Did anybody tell you to take that shot? Ooh. I mean, everybody was like, saying he was shooting this. Somebody else wrote, ladies and gentlemen, your 2022 Kia Wild Boy of the Year. Ooh, it's so bad now. You can't even show love to nobody, but he did go a little overboard. I mean, sir, all you needed to do was to lick your phone screen to start put up a picture of you licking your phone screen, like, or something like. But you basically were slurping, baby. I know you probably was in your office, and when you saw all of those replies and retweets with quote, those quoted retweets come up, you knew you had a problem. Baby, your wife probably called you right after that. You looked at that phone. Yeah, and you said the immediate, oh, I'm in a meeting reply. No, you wasn't in nobody's goddamn meeting. Baby, your wife was hot like fish grease, honey. Child, child, child. Mm. Mm. Listen, now, if you don't follow Representative Jamal Bowman's Twitter, it is worth a follow because he do be tweeting out all kinds of random stuff. Like it'd be like, yeah. Mm, right. Listen, y'all know how his wife like he probably sit there reply in a meeting, I'll call you right back. His wife be like, I know the fuck you not. Or the one when you get the reply back, you got 5 seconds to call my phone ain't ringing in 5 seconds. I'm coming up there. I'm coming up there. I'm coming up there. He tweeted out, remember when there was that TikTok viral video like yesterday or day before, like earlier this week, with the little raccoon coming out of the dumpster? So he retweeted it and put this caption, waking up in America and remembering you don't have free health care, paid family leave, a livable wage, minimum wage, free health care, affordable housing, clean air and water, reproductive rights, equitable voting rights, to well-funded public school. I mean, he just went on and on. Though. He like supposed, random crazy stuff. I'm just, I love Jamal Bowman down. Love him down. I just love him down, but baby, listen. I just was for about an hour. I was just reading all the retweets and all the responses and replies to the tweet. I spent about an hour of my day yesterday when I was really supposed to be doing work and spent about an hour doing that. It was a mess. It was a mess. But here's my other thing, y'all. So y'all let me know. Let me preface first by saying I ain't saying anybody should be cheated on. I'm not saying it's right for anybody to be cheating on anybody. You need to be faithful to your wife, your husband, or your non-binary spouse and mate, partner, whatever you want to term them. Nobody deserves to have to deal with infidelity. However, comma, why are people in social media making it like cheating on Nia Long? It not that cheating is good, but they're making it like cheating on Nia Long is the worst, is worse than cheating on anyone else. If you cheated on Lasha Quante, who you was married to or engaged to or in a committed relationship with, it's just as bad if you cheated on Nia Long. And I don't care if Lasha Quante got an extra arm growing out the side of her head and Lasha Quante in the face looks like the left side of someone's testicle. It don't matter. She'll need to be tweeted on, just like Nia Long don't need to be tweeted on. But baby, these people lost it, men and women collectively. It wasn't just the men, it was the women too. I saw men over there talking about, oh my God, this this nigga done lost his mind. I ain't Miss Sharon Boo, you done popped out the bitch shit. And women are like that, oh my God, you cheated on Nia Long. Hey boo, Nia Long is a human being like the rest of us. I ain't see y'all getting that disturbed about everything. Hell, didn't Beyonce get cheated on? Don't Halle Berry get cheated on left, right, and sideways every time you look up she getting cheated on? Hasn't everybody you could think about? Janet Jackson done got cheated on. Everybody, all of the cute people, all of the beautiful people get cheated on. But magically, I guess we woke up and it was Nia Long, and all of a sudden, Black Twitter and the blacks, black people across America thought that it was the cardinal sin. It was blasphemy that we have a man would cheat on Nia Long. Oh my God, that wouldn't ever happen. However, I mean, I don't care who it is, they can be cheated on. I'm just saying. Why did I mention Beyonce? Because here comes So Jeff and the Beehive. As soon as they hear her, they come a buzzing in. This is not about Beyonce and Jay. So Jeff, okay, simmer down now. Okay, simmer down. Simmer down. Girl, be ready. Be ready to attack. Girl. But my point is this. Like, I don't, I mean, if you're asking me, because we always attribute Neil Long back to Love Jones with her and Lorenz Tate. And for me, Lorenz, shout out to Lorenz Tate, who just recently had a birthday, who turned I think it was 45 the other day. I think he just turned 45. It was either 45 or 47. Anyway, and took a shirtless picture. To me, that's the catch. Lorenz Tate is the catch. Not that Neil Long is bad, but baby, if I'm comparing the two stars, the Neil Long, Lorenz Tate, who's the bigger catch at this age? I'm going Lorenz Tate because Neil Long, you ain't got that much. Your money ain't that long no more, Neil Long, because you don't be in that many roles anymore. And I see Lorenz Tate a lot more roles than I see Neil Long. I'm just saying. So now if you cheated on Lorenz Tate, then I might be like, you cheated on Lorenz Tate? And then I was thinking, like, okay, these things happen, honey. Now that doesn't negate the fact that Ime Udoka could be a fucked up ass individual. I don't want to. I'm not trying to make it like he can't be a horrible ass individual or fucked up ass individual because when you do things like infidelity, it does make you a fucked up ass individual. But I don't want people to come out here acting like, um, you know what I'm saying? Like it's blasphemy and acting like, oh my God, there's no sin greater than cheating on Nia Long. Get your life. Get your life. That's the part that irked my soul the most about this. Okay, the most. Then it's the people who then were trying to deflect. And let me tell you what the people who want to deflect is. The people who want to deflect were the people who said, "Oh, why y'all didn't give this much? Why y'all didn't give this much news coverage to Brett Favre and him stealing millions of dollars from Mississippi? Why you didn't? Because before this Nia Long story posted, I ain't see you see a goddamn thing about Brett Favre and him stealing millions of dollars. That was just your point of trying to be contrarian and trying to deflect because you just wanted to be that person to have a cute little post. Please believe. Go check their history. Go check their timeline. I would say less than 1% of the people who made a post talk about why they talk about more about Ime Udoka than they are about Brett Favre. Those only 1% of the people who did that, less than 1% probably, even had a post prior to that story about Ime Udoka coming out, even mentioning Brett Favre. It be them people who get on my nerves. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. What you're not gonna do? I hear you, little baby. I hear you. You know the people have some things to say about Hail Berry. What we're not gonna do, Jason, is talk about Lorenz Tate. We will stab you in the throat about Lorenz Tate around here. Kuh, kuh, cha. I mean, I've always said it's not coincidence that Hail Berry, you get I call her Hail Berry, not Halle Berry, but Hail Berry, you get cheated on left, right, and sideways. I'm just let me shut up. It's let me shut. It's time for a palate cleanser. Let's have it. It's time for our next story. It's time for a palate cleanser. Where are we with our palate cleansers? And there we go. Ugh. Mm. Can I get in that pool with him? I just want to get in that pool. Is it okay if we can go swimming together? Just want to go swimming together with him. Just saying. Just saying. Am I asking too much? Am I asking too much that I can go swimming with him in the pool? Praise God. From whom all blessings flow. And with that palate cleanser, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, um, non-binary, gender conforming members of the audience, it is now time for our favorite segment. It is time for us to experience sugar spike, sugar spike, sugar, 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 sugar spike, sugar spike, sugar spike, sugar, 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 sugar spike, sugar spike, sugar spike, sugar, 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 sugar spike, sugar spike, sugar spike, sugar, 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 sugar spike. And yes, it is time for the sugar spike segment of our program. Go ahead. I got some now laters that I bought from the gas station. So let me got Apple now laters today, okay? No, they're not called now and laters. They're called now laters. I'm from Miami. I'm from Florida. They're now laters, not now and laters. What are we talking about? I'm not gonna tell you it's wrong, little baby. If one of them blinked at me and gave me the time of day, I'll let them take me too and break me off some too. Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Just saying. I'm just saying. Ty, did you get fat? Fat bitch? Fat whore? Why do I even let Ty in the room? Why? Fat bitch. That bitch got the nerve. Have you looked at yourself, Ty? Calling me fat? Good, don't do me. Chat. I'm just saying. Not Tory Lanez. I don't want no parts of Tory Lanez. Mm, mm. All right. Let me get to the story. So we'll start our sugar spike segment talking about. I'm sure this is one of Lil Baby's favorite people in the world. I know it's one of Really B's favorite people in the world. Who, you ask? Your friend and mine's one Miss Megan McCain. Hmm. Megan McCain is in the news, of course. If it's Megan, always for the wrong reason. I'm just saying. I don't care about no Ty. You gonna roll out the bushes to talk about Ty. Hey, Janae Boo. Girl. Not Paul Bucket face after. Child, she in the news, y'all. She in the news. So Megan McCain called herself coming for Stacey Abrams. Let me give you the backstory here, okay? um, so Stacey Abrams was where was she at? She was where was Stacey at? She was at a panel. I forgot where she um was at a panel at. But Stacey Abrams, when she was on said panel, I'm pulling up the quote, y'all. Give me just a moment. Um, when Stacey Abrams said that there is no such thing as a heartbeat at 6 weeks for a fetus. She was on a panel and she was speaking about abortion and abortion rights. And so conservatives saw that video and they went wild when Stacey Abrams said that there's no such thing as a heartbeat at 6 weeks. Meghan McCain, who would not be left out of the fodder on Twitter, then tweeted out, quote, hearing my babies Hearing my baby's heartbeat at 6 weeks is hands down one of the most exciting, liberating, and most beautiful moments of my entire life. Hands down. Stacey Abrams is a very sick person to say this and somehow accuse doctors of faking fetal heartbeats. Full stop. End quote. Now, Stacey Abrams had no need to respond because when you speak in facts, the facts speak for themselves. So people started to do their own research. They hit the Googles. And according to the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, they said, and I quote, it is clinically inaccurate to use the word heartbeat to describe the sound that can be heard on ultrasound in very early pregnancy. In fact, there are no chambers of the heart developed at the early stage in pregnancy that this word is being used to describe. So there is no recognizable heartbeat. If you go on to do your research, you learn that a fetus's heart valves do not develop until roughly around 17 to 20 weeks. So what Stacey Abrams said was absolutely fact and correct. But that doesn't mean anything to right wingers and conservatives and pro life people. They don't care. You can tell them, hey, the sun is hot. And they're going to say, if it helps their argument, that sun ain't hot. I don't care what you said, the sun ain't hot. It's cold. So people have lost their mind. Some conservatives have lost their mind. You know they're gonna put that all over. Baby, they have already started campaign ads with Stacey Abrams saying that, and they're gonna use that to their advantage to say that Stacey Abrams doesn't believe that you have a real baby, and Stacey Abrams doesn't know facts. Because if your doctor tells you it's a heartbeat, and clearly the the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, who I would venture to guess would be the leading voices for all things pregnancies, fetuses, and so forth, says that there's no such animal as there being a real heartbeat at 6 weeks. They said, consequently, that what they're actually hearing is, and I wrote it down. They said the sound you hear on the ultrasound is the machine translating electrical impulses from the embryo into what sounds like a heartbeat. It's not a real heartbeat because at that stage, an embryo doesn't have a beating heart. Let me say that again for Meghan McCain and the people in the back. The sound you hear on the ultrasound is the machine translating electrical impulses from the embryo into what sounds like a heartbeat. It's not a real heartbeat because at that stage, an embryo doesn't have a beating heart. And there you have it. But that means nothing to Meghan McCain. What's wrong is right and what's right is wrong. Oh no, no, it's not embarrassing for Megan because baby, she's not trying to listen to reason. These are people who don't listen to reason. They don't listen to science. They could give a shit about science and reasoning. Oh no. They give it they all they care about is whatever they can say and use that backs whatever their belief is or whatever helps their argument. Baby, Stacey Abrams did not respond, and I wouldn't. I would just say, baby, go check a medical book. Go take a science class. Get away from me. But they're going to use it. I'm telling you, you know how this goes. They're going to use this for all types of campaign ads against Stacey Abrams. So, ladies out there, when you go and you um, get your ultrasound in 6 weeks, just know that ain't no heartbeat. And if you get a doctor telling you, oh, do you hear the heartbeat? You might need to look at your OBGYN like, that ain't no heartbeat. I already studied this and I learned it ain't no there are no heart valves at 6 weeks. Please don't think that even doctors, medical doctors, scientists sometimes don't have political views and axes to grinds and biases and different things that they believe in and go for. And part of what they do isn't always just black and white science. There is some things that they'll add in there that just ain't there. So that's why you may have doctors that say, "Oh, do you hear the heartbeat?" Knowing damn well there ain't no goddamn heartbeat. You think scientists and doctors aren't swayed politically? See the CDC. We learned that with the CDC from the last presidency and the current presidency and how they dealt with COVID. And instead of using scientific backing to go with what should happen, they went with on the whims of people who are in positions of power and bent science and bent reasoning to the whims of whoever was in a position of power. It's just a goddamn mess. Just a goddamn mess. A goddamn mess. I hope they haven't been using a heartbeat as selling point for it is. Oh, I can tell you that it is. Are they going to stop men from wasting sperm? When will the advocacy for cellular level? I'm not doing this with you, Jason. The CDC is out of control. The CDC is absolutely out of control. Just way out of order. Just way out of order. But yeah, once again, Meghan McCain is being Meghan McCain. She's getting it wrong like she always does. Why do we expect any different from her? We should never expect anything good to come from her. She has no redeeming qualities. She's nothing good about her. Just a mess. And with that, it's time for a palate cleanser. Let's have another palate cleanser while I pull up my next story. See, where's Xavier? I'm surprised he ain't here. You usually be here by now. There's a palate cleanser for you. All right. Mm. I don't want to do too many more stories because I do want to talk a little bit about that's a nice piece. Now he looks short. He does look short, but there's some things I would do. It's some clothes I would wash on them abs right there. I got some clothes, some dirty clothes I need to wash on those abs right there. Mm-hmm. And some soiled clothing that needs to be washed on those abs. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I say cleanse your palate because this is a mess. Uh, I can't. I don't even have it to do with this NyQuil on chicken. Like that's a Generation Z bullshit. Because there's no way on earth you never listen. Some of the shit that these Generation Z kids do, we never would have dreamed of doing when I was growing up. Not, my generation would never be caught dead. NyQuil on chicken. But you know what? There's too many black kids that didn't learn how to cook right. They didn't learn how to cook in their own household, and they rather go on the internet and watch white people cook and learn how to cook from white people who know what the fuck they doing and will have you all fucked up. Let's be clear. In these yet to be United States of America, even if you go back to colonial and slavery times, the bulk of the real cooking happened because slaves did it. I mean, not and black people. Let me not go down this road, but yeah, we would have never been caught. NyQuil chicken? That shit don't even look right. First of all, NyQuil is like greenish blue or whatever. I ain't putting no shit that's green or blue on my goddamn chicken. I'm not putting medicine on my damn food. Like, how does that make sense? Like, make it make sense. Child. Listen, Tracy, you wasn't wasting the NyQuil or the chicken. And I don't care how cheap that chicken was. You wasn't wasting neither one. Right, they doing Tide Pods. What the heck? I don't know where y'all find these kids from. I have no idea. None at all. God bless America. God bless America. So, this week in politics, Governor Hot Wheels and Governor Death Sentence, Governor Greg Abbott of Texas and Governor DeSantis of Florida. We've been disaggregating all of the information that we've been receiving about DeSantis and Abbott sending refugees to blue states or to other parts of the country out of their states and spending millions of dollars either busing them or sending them on planes, millions of dollars of taxpayer funds to send them to other states and say and drop them off and say here y'all deal with it, under the guise of telling them, hey, we're going to send you to this place. Oh, they're going to have a job for you. They're going to have a place for you to live. They're going to set you up and you're going to live out the American dream. A mess. A mess. So let me read this from one of my favorite websites, commondreams.org. If you're into politics like I am, and you're progressive like I am, or even progressive leaning like I am, commondreams.org is the place for you. Okay. So it says, as Republican governors Ron DeSantis of Florida and Greg Abbott of Texas continued over the weekend to defend their plot to put refugees and migrants from Latin America on planes and buses to northern cities and communities, critics of the cruel and immoral actions have said the two should face investigation and ultimately criminal prosecution for misleading and mistreating the people at the center of their political gamesmanship. Amid confirmed reports that many of the migrants sent to Martha's Vineyard last week by DeSantis had been misled by officials in Florida about the nature of their trip, immigration rights legal aides have said they intend to push for legal action to stop such abuses. Here's what the New York Times is reporting. Quote, the lawyers said they would seek an injunction in federal court early next week to stop the flights of migrants to cities around the country, alleging that the Republican governor had violated due process and the civil rights of the migrants flown from Texas to the small island off of the coast of Massachusetts. They were told you have a hearing in San Antonio, but don't worry, we'll take you to Boston, said Ivan Espinosa Madrigal, the executive director of Lawyers for Civil Rights in Boston. He said dozens of the migrants had told his team they only had been informed mid-air that they were going to land in in Martha's Vineyard rather than Boston. The migrants have already received legal representation. They have already begun filing paperwork for lawsuits. Not a resurrection of Lawton Child's been dead. How long Lawton Child been dead? About 25 years. Good Lord. Lawton Child's walking Lawton. When did Lawton Child died? I think late 90s. He's walking Lawton. And that's Florida politics. Lawton Childs is former governor. I think he was the last Democratic governor of Florida. Yeah, Lawton Childs is the last Democratic governor of Florida. And I know he's been dead at least 25 years. Anyway, they called him Walking Lawton because he walked, I think he walked the whole state. He would walk and go campaign. And I think he walked most of the state, like for months. Anyway, but they've already filed lawsuits. Saying that this is horrible is an understatement. Saying that you're surprised is a problem, because you should not be surprised at this point at anything that these people would do. Okay, one of the migrants sent from Texas recently took her own life in a shelter. Right? It's appalling. It's inhumane. It's disgusting. Now, let's be very clear. As horrible as Governor Death Sentence and Governor Hot Wheels are for shipping these people off, the Biden administration has in some cases been worse than Trump's administration with regard to immigration and migrants. Remember, the whole thing with the Haitian migrants happened in this administration, where you had the Border Patrol people whipping Haitian migrants, and the U.S. government spent millions of dollars for plane tickets to fly all of those immigrants back to Haiti, places where they knew they could possibly die and lose their life. But they were willing to take in all of those people from Pakistan and Afghanistan. Remember that? This is the same U.S. government who hasn't stopped Border Patrol, but they've ramped up Border Patrol under this administration. They have deported exponentially more migrants and immigrants than the previous administration. They have not let up on any of the horrible and heinous edicts and policies put in place by the previous administration. They have held strong and firm to them, and in some cases even ramped them up. So if we're believing that the Biden administration is going to have any type of sympathy for migrants and immigrants coming into this country, you're reaching. They do not care. And what sickens me is we have a vice president who has both parents being immigrants. The press secretary, Corinne Jean-Pierre, is the daughter of immigrants, Haitian immigrants. There's no shortage of people in this administration that are only here because them or their parents came over as immigrants. But y'all are here for all of this. Let's keep them out. We need. They might as well say put up a goddamn wall. They've done everything short of putting up a goddamn wall, and have even been worse than what a wall would have done. They've done worse to immigrants than a goddamn wall would have done. And that's just the brutal and honest truth. I'm just saying. So if you and see, and let's just be clear here, he, as horrible and as awful as it is for them to send those people away to a blue state, to a democratic state, here's another horrible truth. Wouldn't it stand to reason that even though it's horrible that they were sent here, you should open your arms when they come there and say, you know what? They shouldn't have sent you here, but we got you. We're going to take care of you. We will welcome you with open arms. We will go ahead and put you up. We will give you all of the assistance that you need. Yep, you got here under false pretenses, but don't worry. We're here for it. We got you. We believe in you. We know you came here to believe in the American dream, and we're going to see to it that you get to live that out. We will give you all of the resources that we have in place and make sure that happens. You can take care of death sentence and Hot Wheels on the back end, but you have real living people there. And what you should have done was you should have said, hey, Governor Hot Wheels, hey, Governor Death Sentence, yeah, you sent them here, but let us show you how you truly take care of people who come into this country the right way. Let us give you a clinic and a class on how you're supposed to do right by immigrants, but they ain't doing that. Even these blue state Dems are like, why y'all sending them here? They came to y'all state. We don't want no parts of them. They need to go back to y'all so y'all can take care of them. We don't need to be taking care of them. Why? I'm not saying Abbott and DeSantis was right, but what I am saying, since they are there, wouldn't it stand the reason that y'all would just take care of them and then deal with how they got there on the back end? If somebody's hungry and they come to your house, you don't. I'm saying, listen, somebody sent me here. I thought I was going somewhere else, but I am starving. I'm about to die. Can you please give me something to eat? The answer is not, baby, I ain't got no food for you, even though you got a cupboard full of food. The answer is, I can't help you. You need to go back where you came from. They were supposed to feed you. You need to go over there and have them feed you. You can say, you know what, boo? Don't worry about it. I know you were supposed to get it from them. I got you, especially when I ain't do nothing but talk about how horrible they were for not feeding people. Because I've been spending the last how long talking about how horrible my neighbor is for not feeding people who come to their door and saying they was a horrible and awful person for not feeding people. But then when they come to my door, instead of saying, you know what, let me feed you and show the people how it's done, I said, you ain't supposed to go. That's the house. That's the apartment down there. You need to get fed at, not mine. I would help you, but you belong down there. I don't really want no parts of you down here. So now you look no better than death sentence and Hot Wheels. A mess. A mess. A goddamn mess. It's a goddamn mess. Nobody's unscathed on this. Nobody gets away unscathed. You do wrong, we gonna call you out. It's time for a palate cleanser. A whole mess. A whole mess. There's our palate cleanser. Mm. Oh, um, um, mods, can you drop the link if you want to come up and talk about um the Dahmer miniseries episodes 1, 2, and 3. Now is the time for you to click the link. Mods, can you drop the link for those people who may want to come in? Let me see if I can drop it again. Hold on. While I pull up, I think this is my last story coming up. All right. I think I only got one more story anyway. I'm looking at to see what's in the dossier today. We didn't have a long dossier today. The dossier wasn't packed today. I think I can get another palate cleanser in here. Y'all think I can get another one in here? Since I had a light bright, here's some dark meat. Here's some light meat, light bright for what some of y'all, and then some dark meat for the people who like the dark meat. Mm-hmm. All right. So, all right. So, there's a link for people who need it. So, child, that's when they have two different color Crocs. So Jim, that's what we used to call back in the day Banji trade. That's Banji trade, honey. That makes it more sickening. That's just Banji trade, round the way boy kind of trade, honey. Yeah, that's what that is. That's Banji trade. Gotta love Banji trade. On the West Coast, they call it Kabuki trade. On the West Coast, that's what they call it over there. On the East Coast, it's Banji trade. On the West Coast, they used to call it Kabuki trade. That's old school. Old school. Cha. Cha. Anyway. Um, so this last story before we get to anybody who wants to come up for the drama. See, we only doing episodes 1, 2, and 3. Ciao. So, um, I don't know. I don't remember. I think we covered this story, but I'm not sure. But here's an update. An all-white jury has acquitted an officer who killed an unarmed black man. Of course, like most, the officer claimed he tried to grab for his taser. Let me read this for you. This comes from theroot.com. A former Texas police officer was charged with shooting and killing Jonathan Price in October of 2020, per NBC News. Thursday, he was acquitted of his murder charge after the jury found the officer's actions as reasonable. However, not one person on that jury was white. Officer was white, but not one person on the jury was white. Now, let me keep going. Jonathan Price is the name of the victim, the black man that was murdered. Price's family and their civil rights attorney, Lee Merritt, believed that there was bias that influenced the verdict. Quote, there was not one person that looked like me. There was not one person that looked like my father. There was not one person that looked like Lee Merritt, period. And that was according to Price's sister, Sabrina. Notice I said not one person was white, but it also wasn't nobody there that was black. Let me say that again. Not one person was white, but there was also not one person on that jury that was black. Mm. Reports say former Wolf City officer Sean Lucas confronted Jonathan White at a convenience store for receiving a call. I'm sorry, after receiving a call about a fight. Lucas thought Price was intoxicated and attempted to detain him. Price allegedly told the cop, quote, "I can't be detained," end quote, and the two struggled while Lucas tried to restrain him. Per the affidavit, Lucas deployed a stun gun on Price as he walked away, but Price tried to reach out and grab the end of it from Lucas's grasp. This prompted the officer to fire 4 times at Price's upper torso. He died in the hospital. Initially, Lucas was fired after Texas Rangers found his actions, quote, were not objectively reasonable, end quote, in a preliminary investigation. However, even after finding Price was non threatening at the time of the shooting, the jury found Lucas innocent. Robert Rogers, one of Lucas's attorneys, said in a statement in 2020 that the officer was acting within the law when he confronted someone who was trying to take his weapon. After Thursday's not guilty verdict, Rogers said he was relieved the system worked and that the evidence showed Lucas's actions were reasonable. Lee Merritt, and that's the hey, Watermelon Sugar coming to the stage, y'all. Y'all see her sliding down a pole, Watermelon Sugar. Anyway, Lee Merritt, who's the attorney for the victim, said the evidence was, quote, overwhelming in favor of guilty, end quote, and plans to move forward with a federal civil rights case filed against Wolf City. He says he plans to appeal to the U.S. Justice Department to pursue criminal charges against Lucas. He went on to say, quote, the verdict today makes every black citizen in Hunt County less safe, and it was delivered, not surprisingly, by a jury that didn't have a single black citizen on it. I honestly think it comes down to an inherent bias in favor of law enforcement. Now, did I forget to mention this is in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas? Last time I checked, there's a whole lot of black people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but conveniently, y'all don't have not one juror that's black. Conveniently, but they settled on, but we didn't have any white people on the jury. A mess. A mess. That's the update on that. Anyway, time for a palate cleanser. Y'all see Watermelon Sugar over here sliding down poles and stuff. Sliding down poles. Here's a palate cleanser there. Child, those people who took my class on gray sweatpants, do you see what I see? Y'all see what I see over here? If you took my class on gray sweatpants, do you see what I see? Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. All right, I dropped the link, Mod Squad. Could y'all drop the link again for anybody who may want to still come up as we are coming upon discussing the Dharma series. Now, I was entranced and captivated with this mini series. Listen. 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 This movie, Dahmer, which is let me make sure I got the title right. Sorry, y'all. Called Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Listen. So if please come up if you want to talk about this. So it is, let me start off by saying it's not for the faint of heart. Not for the faint of heart. You're welcome to come up, Watermelon Sugar. I don't even know if we'll even get to episode 3, but I do want to talk about episodes 1 and 2. Okay. So, girls these days, you don't have to hear about it. I'm sure one of the mod squad will take care of your issues. You have issues with hearing about it. I'm sure somebody in the mod squad will take care of that problem that you seem to have listening about this. They'll take care of it. It's no problem. See, I ain't even told you that's why we have mods for that. Yeah, you came in too late. Listen, they will see. Girls, yeah, listen, that came out of left field. And you could have been, listen, it could have been perfectly innocent, and maybe you didn't mean to come off like that, but the way you came out, because you, listen, let me give a heads up to people who don't normally chat. If you're new here and you don't normally chat, you might not want to come out here and immediately be out here thinking you finna turn it. The mod squad. See, Watermelon Sugar says she'll give you one more chance and unblock you. Because the mod squad walk heavy. I do not question them. They will shut you down. And if they feel like you coming out like a troll or you coming out trying to be cute, baby, they will gather you. You will get gathered. They are snipers. They are ninja warriors. Child, they'll keep you in order. Anyway, so y'all, we start off this series, and I would venture to tell you the first, oh, I would say the first half of the first episode is a lot. Like you literally watch the first half of the first episode, and you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like you are literally on pins and needles. Tense, pensive is just putting it mildly. Okay? You literally watch, and this is Tony. We start off with, and remember, this is a real story. So it's not like if I tell you what happens, you ain't already know. This is real. This isn't fiction. This is real. So this is really what happens. This happened in real life. These are real people. This is not a based on a real story. This is documenting a real story. I shouldn't say documenting, more so than I'll say giving you a depiction of the real story. Okay. Um, so this doesn't start off with based on a real story, because when they start off by saying based on true events or a true story, then there's fiction involved. They will change names. Hey, quintessential boo, you can't just slide up in here thinking that we ain't gonna see you. Can't just slide on in here, boo. We see you. You out there partying with the people last night. Mm-hmm. Um, to come up and give my time. Okay. Yes, hearing the stories on television and news or whatever is one thing because you have a little bit of a detachment, but seeing it, it is it. Oh my God! I remember. So there was a point where and I ain't gonna give it up. You know, he found a black man at the club. He went to this all black gay club, and you later find out he really was preying on black gay men. He was gay himself, and this one guy named Tony. His name was Tony Edwards. No, not Tony. Tracy. Tracy Edwards was his name. Tracy Edwards was his name, and he got him to come home, and he drugged him, and Tracy tried to get away, and he pulled a knife on him and everything. And there was one point Tracy went in the room and he saw the blood from another body all over the bed and stuff like that. Like this man had a barrel or a vat filled with acid that he was using that had several bodies in it. He had skulls all in the room. He had a human head in the he had a couple heads in the refrigerator. He had people's genitalia in the freezer. Like it was a lot going on. Is that you, Ty? I can't see your screen. Ty, show me as you and I'll let you up. Because I see somebody in the background. It says Ty. But what's not gonna happen is y'all give me oh well they went away. Because that didn't look like Ty. That didn't look like Ty's screen. If it is Ty, he know how to come back. Hold on, there's somebody coming back. Oh, that is Ty. Hey, boo.
Howdy ho!
Yeah. Did you watch it yet?
Yeah,
Yeah, you did watch it. What episode you on?
I finished it.
Oh, I finished it too. Girl.
Hey
So
everyone.
y'all say hey to Ty. Listen, that first episode, if you remember, Ty, there was a point where the Tracy guy is sitting on the bed next to Jeffrey Dahmer, and he literally starts to cry because it's like he knows, bitch, I'm about to die. And you see like this one tear come down his back. My whole heart was like, oh my God. Like I was so in fear. I was like, I literally felt like I was transported. And I think every human being, you first, I think as a human being, you have an attachment to any human being in fear for their life. That's point blank. Okay. So you gravitate to that individual that's the victim for that. But then if you're black, even more so, you feel for this black man that is about to thinking that he's going to lose his life. And then for those of us like you and I, sir, who are black gay men, that this easily could have, well, it couldn't have been me because I don't even deal with white people like that. So it couldn't have been me because, baby, I don't deal with the white people like that. But I'm just saying, we have all been in a situation. You know, me and you both have been in a situation where you meet somebody at the club, baby, you going on to that good house.
Hold on, no. You may have been in those
girl,
but you don't lump me in a situation like I'm on some old whore.
You forgot I know you. You did forget that I know you. Anyway.
It was scary. I kept on saying to my fight, like he had all of this and shit. I'm like, fuck him up.
He did fight. He did fight. He did.
He did.
He eventually did fight and got out.
You have to buy your time, the right moves. But waiting for the right moves, you've been fucked up.
I was like, my heart, before I started to break down, like my insides were like, oh my God, please don't kill this man. Please don't. I just was praying to myself, please don't kill this man. Please don't kill this man. Please don't. I just kept screaming, please don't kill this man.
Can we shout out Niecy Nash?
Baby Niecy Nash. Well, first of all, there was some great acting. Shout out to Evan Peters, who played that goddamn part. Shout out to Niecy Nash, who played Glenda Cleveland. Niecy Nash played that part, honey. She played her part. She was here for it. Niecy Nash played that part. Shout out to Dylan Burnside. I liked him and his character too. See, getting more roles because I don't feel like I be seeing Dylan Burnside in enough roles since Pose. So I was glad to see him.
First
In the
of
movie.
all, can we clarify when did because I know once I started watching when I first started watching, I realized within the first episode, few minutes, that I've seen this before. And so I'm wondering, when did this, because somebody told me like, no, it just came out. It just
It
came out.
did. It just came out. Now they've done a Jeffrey Dahmer movie before. There has been a Jeffrey Dahmer movie before. Yes. Oh no! I finished Watermelon Sugar. I finished the whole thing. I've seen episode 6. Listen, I had to take a break after episode 6. Baby, episode 6 came and that broke my heart. That really, episode 6 tore me up. It tore me up. Episode 6, listen. I needed to take a break. I had to take a break. I went and got me something to eat, sat out at the restaurant, and it took a lot. But like episode 6 truly broke my heart. But no, there's been previous movies about Jeffrey Dahmer, but this particular one with Ryan Murphy as executive producer and so forth just was just released.
When?
Like Wednesday, this past Wednesday.
No, it must have been re-released.
No, Ty, look it up. You have the Googles like we all do.
I've seen this before.
That's them psychedelic drugs you be taking.
I've seen this before.
That's that makeup seeping into your skull.
They did tell me because I be gluing things with E6000.
Right.
He was like, make sure you wear a mask. I'm like,
y'all give a good congratulations to Ty, who's a finalist, right? You made finals, right? Ty made finals in the drag show. What club is this for?
It's Pieces.
Pieces. I've been to Pieces. And this the same one I'm thinking about.
Yeah. Don't start me. Let's carry on. Don't start me.
Anyway, so but the first episode is about him getting caught. We start off with him getting caught, and we find out Tracy Edwards. I don't know if Tracy Edwards is still alive. I think he's still alive, but he did end up testifying and so forth. Glenda Cleveland ended up speaking as well. So these are, you can look them up and see the actual real people, and even all of the victims. You can look up all of the victims and see all of the actual people who were being portrayed in the mini series.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead, Ty, go.
No, because I don't know if I'm jumping too many episodes ahead.
Well, I don't know. We still on episode 1. I will say Tracy Edwards, the real Tracy Edwards, was kind of cute back then. I was like, okay, I see you all. I had to look him up and see why he was cute. The actor was cute too, but I think the actor looked a little more buff than the actual guy. Like the real Tracy Edwards looked like a more slender guy. Anyway, he was still cute. So, but yeah, that was the big part of episode 1 when he got caught, and they finally, and I feel like he kind of just gave up and was like, all right, well, here I am. Girl, come and get me. They're like, come and get me, honey.
It was gruesome though, and I could just imagine. I walk past a garbage one, occasionally, where I'm sure there's probably a dead rat in there or something, and I'm like, ugh, I can't imagine.
I can't imagine living in a house next to this man.
and sharing the same air, like the air is coming directly into your place.
Girl, I can't.
When she walked towards the vent and she almost threw up, I couldn't imagine.
Like
Like
the thing, when you think about air conditioned vents, especially in large apartment buildings like that, all of those vents are connected. So I'm sure it wasn't just Glenda Cleveland's house. I'm sure it was probably a lot more pronounced in her house, but I'm sure maybe even everybody else on that floor, or even the people above him or beneath him or whatnot. That was a mess. But then we go back in episode 2 to when he was a little boy. And oh wow, you say one of your sorors lived across the street from him? Oh wow. We go back to him as a little boy. And we see the mama was real whacked out.
the father as well.
The father was whacked out too. But in the beginning, the father seemed a little more put together. And the mama was the one. Remember, she used to just be screaming and shit and all had all kinds of shit going on. She wanted to take all them drugs when she was pregnant and stuff like that.
When he drove past and saw her sitting at the bus stop in the snow, no clothes,
Right.
nightgown, and no shoes. I was like, ugh. It's like, okay,
Like the mama was
get down.
the mama was whacked out too.
She seemed to have issues before she started taking all of those drugs that she alleged took. And I'm like, I can't see how. I'm no clinician or doctor in no way, but I can't see how taking that much of anything won't have an effect long term on a developing fetus.
But to me, episode 2 made you side eye that bitch ass daddy. Because the daddy sat there in that goddamn police station, act like he was so surprised. What do you mean? Oh my God, my son? And they was like, do we need to give you a moment? And he's like trying to break down, but trying to keep together, but trying to break the girl. You knew. And then we get to episode 2 and we see, girl, you started this.
Poking at rats and shit.
Right, and roadkill. Like, that's some white people shit. Black people ain't picking up no roadkill off the side of the road. Talk about we finna start dissecting this roadkill in the garage. We just ain't doing that shit. Why? Because what does roadkill have on it? A lot of roadkill, you don't know how long it been out there. It might have maggots and all kinds of insects and scavengers done got to. Baby, we're not doing that shit.
Even though taxidermy is, I guess, a professional business, a professional trade, and it's clean and all of that, whatever, that's still some creepy shit. Like, how did you even get into?
And the thing about it is this. You know, black people, for the most part, not all black people, but black people are real clean people. Black people like to keep shit clean. So you ain't just got blood everywhere talking about, oh, we dissecting this roadkill. We just go ahead and blood everywhere.
If you look back on it, in order for us to eat, the men would kill it and the mamas were slicing and dicing.
Listen, they had a whole area to go and do that. The slaughterhouse. That's why they had
you do it in the front of the house or the back of the house. You still had to cut open and gut out and shave off and all of that type of shit. So
in the what was this? Back when he was a little boy, that would have been the 60s. They weren't doing it in the 60s.
But when was he caught? Because I thought I remember
that. He was caught in the 90s, but I'm talking about back when he was a little boy. He was caught, I think, 91. 91 he was. Because I remember now, I was in middle school at the time.
You was in college. Stop fucking playing.
I think I was in like 6th grade.
You said, yo, lad,
I was in like 6th grade.
Stop playing.
No, I was in 6th grade.
Oh God, the lie. And, this is where I tune out when the lie.
I know. Now you, sir, were in high school.
I was in 6th grade. Tune out. I can't. I'm not here for the lies.
I ain't gonna tell no lie. But but I remember the story of, you know, when he called, and I remember the news would come on, and you just see them bringing all this stuff out their apartment and stuff, those boxes and shit, and you heard about it, but there was this detachment. But it wasn't until I got older and became, uh, I mean, I learned more about his story that I learned that he was preying on black gay men. When the story first came out, I just knew he was eating people. That was the first thing you heard. This white man eating all these people. I don't think I realized when it first came out, and I was like in middle school, that they were mainly black. One and two, that they were black and gay. Most of them. I was just saying, but the mama was crazy. The mama was strung out on some shit. And so when we learned that the daddy had him, was helping him cut up these animals and all kinds of shit. Then we started to look at the daddy like, bitch, you ain't shit.
I did fall asleep at least during one episode, but I'm telling you, I've seen it all before. I don't know where or when, but I've seen it before. Maybe when, I don't know. This is not the first go round.
Child. And remember he kept getting in trouble. Remember when he took the mannequin? Remember he stayed in the store and took the mannequin and slept with the mannequin? That shit was weird.
I saw that part, and who was it? The father threw it away, or the mother?
No, the grandma. Remember he had to go stay with the grandmother. Which was, but wait, let's go back. The daddy, I don't know where the daddy went, and left him with the mom, and then the mom checked the fuck out and left with the younger brother, and they just left him there at the house. Daddy wasn't calling to check on him. Mama wasn't calling to check on him. They just left his ass at the goddamn house.
Is that when is that when the father came back with the stepmother?
But remember, he had been by himself the whole fucking summer.
Right.
Because when the mama left him, the daddy had already left and checked out and said, "Bitch, I got me a little side hoe," and left him with the mama. And the mama ended up leaving with the little brother and said, "I know you don't think you're going with me, bitch. You ain't been caring about me this whole time, bitch. I'm gone."
It's so crazy when you think there's so many people who live in these, even with the dysfunction in my family, it wasn't to the extreme of that other people have to go through. Like you hear people who like don't say I love you to their family members, or never hug their mother, or hardly hug or kiss their parents or something like that. It's just like, it's just so sad. It's so sad.
And so
When growing up, I never lived in I didn't grow up because my father wasn't there, so I didn't grow up in a household where I had arguing parents and I can live through that. But then when I moved, my aunt and uncle, they got it in. And I used to be like in the room like, oh my God, like, oh, what they say? Why are they saying that to each other? And oh my God, they're gonna, oh, it's about to be a fight. Like, oh, it was so intense at times. I just can't imagine living in that situation all the time or for a long time.
To me, the overarching theme of this whole thing is white people being allowed to be fucking white people and do all kinds of heinous, awful shit. White people have to take responsibility for this shit. And that's the long and short of it. Y'all do this, white people. Why am I phone? Like, white people literally gave him so many chances over and over and over. Remember, he went to the army, got dishonorably discharged because that bitch was over here getting drunk as shit.
Like,
And
yeah. His father was determined to, I'd have been like, child,
The
You
father
ever
just
watch?
kept giving him these outs. And
It is.
this is
It,
some white people shit. Some
it'd have
white
been
people
1830.
shit.
It'd have been 1830. But it's probably because he knew the boy wasn't right.
Let me tell you something. What fucked me up about episode 6 is when I realized that we saw Tony in episode 2. Because I remember it was a part where the grandma found the mannequin and she pulls the sheet off the mannequin, and at the same time, you see him pulling the sheet off of Tony, who at that point was already dead and gone, laying in that bed. I took me all the way out. Took me all the way on out. And so we also get in episode 2 the little 14-year-old boy. We learn about the little 14. That's when we meet the 14-year-old boy. And remember, it was the 14-year-old boy. We saw Tony again because he just pushed. Remember, he just pushed the body off the bed. Remember that with the 14-year-old, he told him where to get on the bed, and the body was laying there. He just said, "Oh, just don't worry about that. Just push the body off the bed."
No, I didn't. That must have been the episode I was asleep.
No, that was episode 2 when he got the little 14-year-old boy.
I was
And
drifting in and out of many episodes.
oh dear God, this is why nobody's so nice to you. Exactly why.
I was drifting in and out.
So, right, that was Tony's blood. I realized that was Tony's blood. I was just like, because my thing about it is, if he was a child molester, convicted, remember he had got convicted for child molestation. How are you getting probation? And then even after that, remember when he went to the court the first time? I'm not the first. That wasn't the first time he went to court. But remember when he went to court and the judge told him, "I'm going to give you a chance. You need a second chance because I don't want to ruin a young man's life like yours." Why? Because he's a Caucasian blonde haired man. You don't want to ruin his life.
You know that's why.
That's it. But the way he did that little 14, and that's when Glenda and her daughters was like, that was the part that's upsetting. You saw these racist ass white cops. It was racist to me. It was both racism and homophobia. One, they didn't. Hey, Miss Trisha P. They didn't want to listen to this black woman telling them something is wrong here, and then they wanted no parts of dealing with what was probably what in their estimation was two gay lovers that was having a tryst, and they wanted no parts of that. I mean,
And when he said to him at the door, like, we're gonna go take a shower now or some shit like that, I was like, oh, the shade of it all.
it was but you know, that's early, not that's 91. You know, back in those times, they
Yeah.
weren't playing with our asses back then. Baby, they was not here for it. 1991 was not 2021. Please be clear. Please be clear. They was not here. There was this, you know, they call it a gay agenda now. Baby, there was no gay agenda in 1991. None at all. None. There was no agenda. Uh, but I think to me, it was, hold on, somebody is backstage. Hey, little baby.
Hey, what's up?
Little baby.
Hey, Ty.
Hey, queen.
So I only got up to episode 2, but I did have questions.
Mm-hmm.
So because I was just looking, I haven't gotten past, but I have like read up on other events. It may be covered later in the season or not at all. But anyway, just from the stuff I observed, I don't understand. Okay, so by the time we got to the 14-year-old, that was just the 14-year-old was one of the last 5 he killed in a 2-month time span. So that means when we reverse this, that apartment was already filled with at least 12 bodies.
I mean, you have the two, because remember, the first 2 people he killed, I don't think you've gotten there, was not in that apartment.
Those were, yeah, the
The
4,
first 2,
from my understanding, the 17 that they know about, he was officially charged with. All those 17 was in that apartment, but I think they want to say that he had 4 others that were killed in
I
his
think he had
grandmother's.
19 in total.
Yeah,
One of them we know was, I know at least one of them was at the grandma house.
yeah.
Because
I think he killed his
um,
first one at his parents' house,
yeah, the
and
first one
then
was at the
did like
parents' house.
2 at his grandmother's house. And then there's also allegations that he could have possibly, while he was stationed in the army, did it in Germany. They don't know.
Did he make it to Germany?
Yeah, he was in the army. Remember, that's where he learned about the drugs.
No, I said, did he make it to Germany?
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember when he said he was being stationed to Germany, but that was right around the time where he peeked out with the cup and asked one of his neighbors in the hall at the barracks if they wanted to party. And I'm assuming he probably got in trouble for that. So I don't.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we literally don't know whether or not, it's because it's so much to the story that I'm sure there was more than that many victims. I'm almost certain.
Yeah, they were only able to get him with the 17 because he basically held on to a lot of that.
He had the pictures and stuff like that.
Basically evidence. That's the only reason they were able to get him with at least 17. But my question is, we have all had our experience with rot. You trying to tell me it was only one person who had an issue with the smell coming from that man's apartment?
Well, later on, you learned that other people did complain. Did complain, but they complained to the building supervisor or the building superintendent. They didn't keep calling the police. But my other thing is, how does the police smell something like that and not be like,
exactly,
girl, what's
like
going
when
on?
you approach that man's door and then you all got into the apartment, you trying to tell me none of that was a red flag? And then it wasn't like the apartment was clean.
Child.
And these are people who deal in this field where you should be able to smell death.
Exactly.
I know teenagers who could point that shit out. Something died.
Now, here's another interesting part. We're talking about the same area of the country as Minneapolis, Minnesota, which we're learning is one of the most racist areas in terms of policing in these yet to be United States of America as well. So when you're talking about Wisconsin and Minnesota, they 2 peas in a pod in terms of general area, way of thinking, and all of that stuff. So the level of malpractice from this police department is just, well, I should say, is par for the course at that time, and even maybe for today in terms of policing. Because as much as people look at this, I can't believe that happened at that time. That shit could happen today.
Very true.
Well, how they treat Black people.
And the thought of how they kept those officers on the force.
Right.
And even accommodated them, gave them awards and all this type of shit.
But it's like awards for what? You didn't do anything. Like you literally had it right in front of your face. Like again, you didn't have to look too hard. You smelt it before the man opened the door, and you had to smell it more the further you stepped in. You had to see it because he wasn't clean. He wasn't even trying to hide it.
Wait, at what point did they go up to the door? They went up to the door when the black man took them there.
The 14-year-old.
No, the
No,
14.
they didn't
Remember?
make it in the building for that.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. They escorted the 14-year-old back to
took
his
the
apartment.
14-year-old boy back.
Oh my God, I forgot.
And they was right at the door. He opened the door. He said, "Yeah." I think that's what he said. We're just gonna go take a shower.
Yeah. Right.
He said he was real drunk.
Right.
And they escorted that little 14-year-old boy back in there. And that 14-year-old boy was not that big for you to not ask a question. Even if you look at the real pictures of that 14-year-old little boy, he looked that big and that old for you not to be saying, "Now wait a minute, where is his ID?"
Right. Even when they brought attention to the blood on his head, okay, you weren't going to check for injuries,
right?
But that also played into the whole homophobia. I don't want the gay to get on me,
right? Because this is 1991 when you're talking about the height of AIDS crises and epidemics, and when people wanted no parts of anybody that was homosexual or anything, so they was like, "Don't get that on me at all."
Now, in last night's review, James brought up something that was very important, and I had to think about that, how that is still common today, about basically how Black and white communities are very much so segregated. So even for a police officer, we know there are exceptions to the rules when it comes to white people who live amongst predominantly Black people. But we typically, those white people are familiar. They kind of almost operate like Black people and even have like shared feelings that some Black people have towards white people. You got this strange white man amongst all these Black people. He ain't even trying to fit in. He don't talk like them. He don't walk like them. He don't act like them. That ain't bring no red flags to nobody.
And you're talking about, this is early 90s. That was still around a time when neighbors spoke to each other. Nowadays, with internet and everything going on, you got people that stay in buildings with people for years now, and they never met the people, they never spoke to them, ain't tried to speak to them, and don't want to speak to them. But back then, you did speak to your neighbors. You did know who these people were that stay. If you're in an apartment building, you knew at least the people on both sides of you and in front of you.
I've been here going on 5 years.
I said in 1991, back when you was 31.
Only person I speak to is this girl that live right here next to me.
I said in 1990 goddamn one. But if we're gonna talk about the segregated parts of it, to me, it's more so him going to the club. Because when you go to, now there, not to say that there aren't white people that don't go to the Black club, they are, but they don't look like he was looking going in that white, in that Black gay club. Girl, we gonna be looking at you like
Poindexter.
Right, girl.
And he ain't even like, again, he's not even trying to be social. He just walk in there all weird and shit. Because that was the thing someone else had brought up. It wasn't like this man was like Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was charismatic. He was charming. If you listen to a lot of the interviews, people who knew Ted Bundy was actually active in the community. A lot of people who did not know that other side of Ted Bundy had such great things to say about him. But this guy here, Dahmer, ain't nobody had too much great things to say about him. He didn't lure anyone in. No one's talked about, oh, he was charming and he was this, that, and the third and so intelligent. No one had that to say about him.
We would have never thought he is so nice.
Exactly. A lot of people had that to say about Bundy.
People wanted not to see it because this is the little blonde hair. I can't say he had blue eyes, but he sure had the fitting blonde hair. Typical Midwestern Midwestern white boy who was young and in the prime of his life. Hey, Weezy F. And they wanted to see him as being, the typical American white boy. And so they always made sure that they saw what they wanted to see, which was the best in him. They wanted to always say, oh, no, he's not that. He's not a monster.
Not they saw the best in him.
And then also, again, smells. You can't tell me that no one smelt him when he was out and about.
He didn't have that stench of death on him.
Like on his shoes, on his clothes, on something. Because again, he laid in the bed with it.
I could get to somebody's house, and if I'm at the door and it don't seem right, I'm not coming in.
Exactly.
Going in, especially if that smell hit me, because I can only imagine what your crotch smell like.
Listen,
living in this.
My thing is, I feel like they missed the clues, like the key. Like there are certain things that so many times you kept saying, "Wait a minute, why you keep wanting me to drink this stuff? I told you I ain't want none of this." Because remember, I think it was in episode 1 when he made him to drink it. He looked and he said, "What's that in the?"
And he said there's dish detergent or something.
Yeah,
I
and I was
why
like,
you drinking that?
I don't drink that.
I was like, you got to wash this cup out.
Matter of fact, I don't want something you just poured in the drink if I ain't watch you do it myself.
Exactly.
Baby, go ahead and give me this Coke that I saw you open it, that I can open my own can or open my own bottle and make sure.
That made me appreciate. My little friend was like, "Listen, I don't pour nobody drink here. You pour it yourself."
Mm-hmm.
The glass could be laced these days. You never know. I'm walking in. If I'm coming over, I'm walking in with a bottle of water. I'm good.
My other thing is this. More so than the smells, it's not like he lived at the end of the hall, at least from what we can see. So there had to be somebody on the other side of him. And so what I'm saying is somebody else had to hear these screams and stuff. Because on one of the episodes, it wasn't no play screams. It was real screams. Real, I mean, it was like
your
y'all
life.
The walls looked like they were thin. That looked like an old Raggedy Ricky apartment.
I'd have been
those walls had to be thin.
out. I'd have busted windows out. Somebody would have knew it was going down up in there. We'd have been banging up. We'd have been dancing on all those walls. But
it's a mess.
Because I know some people who are hungry for a drink or hungry for a blunt, and can very easily put themselves in situations where they can become victims real fast.
Yep. It's no listen. And even at the club, first of all, when I go out, I don't pregame before I got there. So my first thought was always, baby, I'm only getting this one drink, and I'm gonna slow drink this one drink for the whole time I'm there. Because I was balling on a budget all the time back in the day. So I just weren't here to be buying $150 worth of drinks.
Listen, Teddy, because we went to school in Tallahassee, about the only place we ain't really pre-games when we went to Top Flight, because that was the only place you could get a real drink. But everybody else, you had the pregame, or else you're gonna be out $50 the first hour.
Trying to tell you. So I'm just like, girl, I'm just listen. I ain't ruining nothing for you, little baby. but I'm telling you, you need to brace yourself for episode 6. I'm not gonna tell you nothing. That's all I'm gonna say. Just prepare. Get your Kleenex. Get your napkins. If everybody else watching, listen. You ain't got the episode 6 yet.
Oh, when he
Just
visited the White
understand.
House?
No.
I listen at the end of episode 1, I was tore up because I was just thinking I could not be a parent and someone coming and delivering that news that my child did that. What?
You know who you sound like? It was. You sound like little scrappy wife or baby mama, the first baby mama.
Erica.
Erica Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
Child, she's a mess.
Like you could not come and tell me that. How do I process that? Someone come and ask me how's so and so doing. Like, how do you go to court and support that? How,
That man, the father, more so than the mother, that father, at every turn, he was trying to get his son off.
But then
Every turn.
it started to make me look at the new wife. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because, I mean, I understand supporting your man, but you're supporting your man who's supporting someone who ate 18 to 19 motherfuckers. I'd have been like, look, boo, I love you, but go handle your shit with your son. I can't be there. I can't support this. I can't.
Oh my God. And I would even laugh, but I just, oh God. Like my heart just couldn't take. I was just like, girl, I can't. I had to. I literally had to stop and say, yeah.
It took me over an hour to eat my food because episode 1, the way they walked through episode 1, I said, "Oh, this show getting Emmys. Ryan Murphy's getting Emmys. I forgot the boy's name already. Evan Peters. He's getting Emmys.
The dad, the man
is getting Emmys.
The man that played the dad did his part too. The actor that played the dad, he played that part too. Niecy Nash played her part too, baby.
That wasn't
These people are going to be the talk of award season because the episode 1 alone, and I know it's so much and so many people have talked about the future episodes, but I know from episode
when I saw Charmaine, because she's always gonna be Charmaine.
Right. As soon as I saw her, I started thinking about
I take care of your responsibility.
Right, going back to Lead on Me. Mr. Clark don't care about you because you don't take care of your responsibility. Yeah. To me, she's still gonna be Charmaine. Now on Lead on Me, she was Kanisha.
I kept on trying to remember her name.
Kanisha was her name in Lead on Me, but on the Cosby Show, that was Charmaine.
Hey, Mr. Clark. Yeah, my mother's doing real good. She got a job now.
Hey.
Oh man. I know it with them because I ain't never been with the other boys. Remember she was over there crying in the doggone auditorium. I know it with them because I ain't never been with no other boys.
I don't want her to see me like this.
No more. Y'all are silly. Y'all are silly.
I don't want her to see me like
Hold on, I have to put my laptop back on the charger and she about to die. Well,
I'm hungry.
I'm about to get off here and go get me something.
Wrong subject to be thinking about food with, but I got this final Sunday and
I know I ain't gonna be here next week for Philly Saturday because I'm back out of town. But at some point during the week, we can discuss. Y'all better be finished. Let's say midweek, y'all should be finished, and we can have a discussion on the whole thing because until you watch episode 7 was a lot too because it really
Mhm.
made you really your heart go out to Glenda. Like you get a lot more of Glenda and what she had to go through.
Yeah, I
And
thought about that. I'm like, even though she didn't lose a member or she wasn't physically harmed, just to have to like
she
the
was permanently traumatized by that.
yes, the souls of all those people
Hmm.
expiring must have seeped into her fucking house.
Hmm.
Like, ugh, like that's permanent fucking
Like you,
damage.
you kind of probably for her, and she's dead now. God bless the dead, but
But she
she
is.
probably felt like their blood almost was on her hands because she was trying to do everything she could, and they just
Yeah,
never believed her.
yeah,
So,
It's something with that because she refused to leave her place. She
mhm.
remained in that place, I think, until like a few years before she died, or she died there. I'm trying to remember, but
I
yeah,
think she died. No, no, no. She didn't die there. She had to move to another apartment because they
okay,
tore the apartment down.
yeah.
okay,
When they
but
came
yeah,
back to see
up
their
until
daughter.
then, she stayed there.
But you
Hmm.
know, there's some people who do
They be like, "I'm not leaving my home."
they know, but it's some people who I don't want to say thrive, but they don't mind the what is it, macabre or the just because I knew this lady growing
I don't
up.
think it's about that for her. I think she was just like, "I'm not gonna let nobody run me out my house."
I can see
You know,
that
it's
because a
a
lot
lot
of
of
older
black people
people
like
have
that.
that
Hmm.
indignant spirit. You ain't gonna tell me to leave. I ain't moving.
Hmm.
You
Like
ain't
for
gonna make me get
example,
up out of here.
Yeah, the
their
half of the
kids,
building
their
could have blew
kids
up.
may get money. They may come in the money and say, "Hey, mom, dad, I'm moving you out of this area," and they'd
Mm-hmm.
be like, "No, the hell you not? I ain't
Mm-hmm.
going nowhere. This is my home."
But I was gonna say I do know this lady who if she heard about somebody, she didn't even have to know or like the person. If she heard about somebody dying, trust and believe that bitch was ironing and out her fucking funeral dress.
God, you know them old ladies like going to funerals and stuff like that. Honey. Oh, it's a funeral, child. I'll be there. Do you even know the person? No,
Right.
girl,
And be there falling out and performing.
you're falling out,
And
passing out,
like,
and
who
not
is
supposed to
that?
get
Be like,
off.
I think she lived in her building. Be like, oh. But yeah, I was wondering, was there any part of her that just wanted to be a part of that? Not wanted to be, but didn't mind.
Because remember, well, I don't want to give up, but you learn that she couldn't take it no more. Remember later in the episode time
Yeah,
when she went with the other people?
yeah. When her daughter was trying to move her out after that.
Hmm. So, but you listen, y'all, we had a good silly Saturday. I'd have been on here 2.5 hours, way longer than I thought we
I
would.
don't never get no invites no more.
Girl, I don't get invited to
I
nothing. You
used to
do.
get an invite, itinerary, and this is what we're gonna be talking about. Be
First
ready
of
at
all, this
9.
is the first silly Saturday I've had in about 2 months because I've been so damn busy out of town and shit. So
Foreign.
I
Now,
wish.
Teddy, I'm gonna let you know. I don't know how shit gonna go, but
You coming to homecoming?
I was gonna talk about it because I don't know how stuff is gonna go. Because if they go the right way, I want to have a celebratory party for a new job. If that happens,
Work.
we can combine. We'll do a
Because
little.
I'm gonna be at homecoming
Will
and I'm
liquor
marching in the alumni band.
will liquor
So
be
that's
at
how
both of these?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be
Now,
there
El
drunk
Teddy
off
and I are
my.
gin drinkers, so
Hmm. I'm gonna be that drunk. I'm gonna be at the. I got several tailgates. The frat tailgate, the Shriners tailgate, the alumni band tailgate. You know, it's so many tailgates. I got like 2 frat tailgates to go to. Like I can go to the AFIQ tailgate, the Kappa tailgate. Yeah, I have to make my rounds and stuff like that. 'Cause I know I got a whole bunch of people that I got to go see.
When is it? When is your homecoming?
The last weekend of October is the
October.
28th, 29th that weekend.
Uh,
Hmm. Can't wait. Anyway, thank y'all for coming up and talking to me. I'm about to go have me a drink and something to eat and take me a nap.
wish me luck, y'all. Monday.
Monday is finals.
Yo.
Do you even have your outfit together?
You
When
see
we
me
get off
sitting at
here,
that.
I
You
saw
see,
you.
you see me
You
sitting
ain't
at
go to the
that
old
sewing
boy
machine.
again. You ain't go to old boy again.
Oh hell no. No, I do have one designer he's making my very last look, but this look, because I have to do something a tribute to the past. Now I'm like, the past what? Ooh, 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 ooh. Just see what I see. Can I reverse this camera?
Well,
See you later, Ty.
Good
we
night, y'all.
we'll be there soon.
This one front view.
What are we looking at?
This guy, he holding his laundry bag over his head. So he's pulling all his shirt up, which I'm sure he would want to
Yeah,
hide what he's
poor,
showing.
poor,
I'm a
poor,
visual whore. Yeah, that's all I do
poor.
is look. All I do is look.
Anyway, y'all say bye to Ty because we about to get up off here.
Bye,
Sean knows in the
y'all.
chat.
Bye, little baby. Bye, Really. Bye, Jay. Bye, Quintessential.
Y'all can support the snack fund. It's right there.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. We have a good time over here.
Nice seeing you, hon.
Love you, honey.
You be
Honey.
good. Bang. Fuck.
He says bye and doesn't go by. See what we got to
I
deal with?
thought you was gonna cut it off. That we was gonna go on the back end and talk
Oh, we
about.
can. But you didn't even give me a chance to say all my stuff I got to say. And I
I'm
always
like,
say I love y'all. I love all y'all. Thank you all for being both present and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They're much obliged. They're much appreciated. Listen, y'all are so good to me. I love y'all. Shondo's in the building. Silly Saturday was fun. We haven't done it in a long time. I hope to bring you more, but we'll see because the way my schedule is set up. Oh, but next week I'm supposed to be with Really Be on Saturdays or Sunday of next weekend. So we'll get to hang out with Really Be and some other people. And we will be in Richmond, Virginia. So if you're in that area and you want to hang out with us, let me know, hit me up, and we can maybe connect or something like that. So yeah, look for us. Other than that, that's all I got for y'all. Until next time, me and Ty about to get out of here. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. We are out of here. Say bye, Howard.